9 p.m. English News, brought to you live by RTD. My name is Anna Farah. Presidency. Ismail Umar Gile Foundation, the head of the state, received the contracted charge of construction for the foundation right to housing. CNDH Gabon Prison, the Commission of Human Rights Inspectors of the Civil Prison of Gabon. Olympic Games. Paris will host almost certain for the Summer Games 2024. And now the national news. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Umar Gile, has received today the Presidential Palace a delegation of entrepreneurs charged of the construction for the housing, the Foundation Right to Housing initiated by the Head of State, His Excellency Ismail Umar Gile. The delegation has been introduced to the President Gile by the Director General of the Foundation, Mr. Mohamed Ali Isman. This meeting was held in the presence of the Secretary General of the Presidency, Mohamed Abdullahi Wa'aith. In the course of this hearing, the President of the Republic has thanks to the entrepreneur of the Foundation, Ismail Umar Gile, for housing their contribution and implementation of this housing unit intended for the families who are most in need of the country. The rating of entrepreneurs have remercied the head of the state for the warm welcome, affirm their commitment to support the project of the foundation, which puts a term of the evil housing. In an interview granted to the national television, entrepreneur looked at construction of housing of the Ismail Umar Gile Foundation has expressed their satisfaction to answer the appeal launched by the President to take part in the realization of this project of great magnitude between leases who are a number of 9 entrepreneurs who are finalized until today, some of 370 housing units. The entrepreneurs have expressed that the participation of this work reflects the support unavoided with the phenomenon activity by the government of Djibouti and the leadership of the President of the Republic in order to each citizen in decent housing. Finally, they launched a call for the whole trade of entrepreneurs of Djibouti, accompanied of this monument of solidarity, recalling that the claims of the fire in neighborhood put in Balbala have been the prime beneficiary of this project of the housing, which has been contributed by the organization of Al-Rahma International and Hamadi Society. The Director General of the Foundation, Ismail Umar Gile Housing, Mr. Mohamed Ali Usman, who have explained the object of the meeting of the President Gile, which contracted charge of the construction social housing of the Ismail Umar Gile Foundation. Mr. Mohamed Ali Usman has asserted that the head of the state has received the entrepreneurs, and he thanks for the constant effort in favor of poor families. The Director General of the Foundation, Ismail Umar Gile Housing, has said that the Ismail Umar Gile Foundation has already embodied the achievement of many of the housing, which is 200 housing units, and their keys has been distributed to the claims of the fire of Balbala by the hand of the head of state. Mr. Mohamed Ali Usman has benefited this opportunity to thank the donor and contributor, both national and international, including the NGOs Al-Rahma International and the Hamadini Society. The President of the Republic, Ismail Umar Gile, today launched Entrepreneur to the Build Society Housing for the Foundation Right to the Housing. He said that he takes advantage of this meeting to welcome the effort provided, and he thanked him the remarkable work carried out and encouraged them to continue this entrepreneur to do every important job for the country and the foundation right housing. For result, work of the construction that the entrepreneur has done is already palpable. In effect, we have been able to relocate the claims of the fires of Balbala to the social housing of foundation right to housing called Ismail Umar Gili Foundation. We want to expand this project for the construction of social housing to put at the end of the slum. Our first essential objective is to help the most vulnerable family who have access to decent housing. By elsewhere, our objective is also to support the orphan family. You have a second objective is to achieve rehabilitated and serving the life and the welfare of our fellow citizens. This is not the villa of the standing, but we'll plan to build but simple housing accessible to the poorest family. We also intend to put the provision for each poor family all base infrastructure for the health and education of each place. I would like to thanks to the opportunity to express a thanks to all who have contributed in a public and private staff in the project of this construction. Social housing for the account of the foundation right to housing, which has main objective access to housing for the poorest families. I thank all the foreign partners who have contributed to the construction of social housing for the account of foundation right to housing during the behind campaign of the presidential election. We promise that during 5 years has come, we have decided to give priority to the social housing. It is for the reason that we have created the foundation right to housing run large accommodation project for the benefit of several categories of the population of Djibouti. We also have a project for the construction of 10,000 housing for those who have the means, and the project will be launched soon. This project our capital, and we have more beautiful image.
برنامج دور وجله ayaan halkaasi aan ka wadnaa midi waxa weeyaan ka aan ku sheegay ugu horeeya isaga awlawiyada aan siinayno ama mudnaanta aan siinayno kii kale dad wixii wax iska bixin karayana barnaamij ballaaran oo ilaa 10,000 oo guri ah ayaan gacanta ku haynaa oo ayaan dhow madaxiisiiba aan bilaabi doonaa haddii alla yiraahdo magaaladana bilcideedii aanu soo celino.
The second part of the speech of the President Ismail Umar Gili, the President urges the donors to participate massively, contributed to the project for the construction of social housing. The financial participation is open for all. What is important in the general contribution to the project of construction of social housing for the foundation right to housing. During the disaster of Balbala, we know that there was a lot of donors. We want to help the disaster victim, but they know who has addressed the social housing. The foundation Ismail Umar Gili right to housing is very important for a quick response, especially during the disaster like this that we have had in Balbala. The President has to ask the institution in charge of contributing the standard of electricity equipment sold on the way. It has a large risk buying product of electricity which is treated during daily in the houses. The fire that have ravaged Balbala have for origin the electric connection fraud of electricity products is a counterfeit form of security. Finally, the head of state has launched against the fraud practice of electricity and sales of a contract product. It is the risk of the author but also for all the neighbors.
انت يعني لحجة لابسه ama waxba ku marxaya aad isleedahay inaad naftaadii iyo dadkii jaarkaaga ahaa oo dhan aad halis ku gelisay xaraam weey.
A ceremony for the distribution of life to the disaster victim of the fire of Balbala took place yesterday afternoon in the commune of Balbala. This donation, composed of 150 cartons of legs spaghetti maida, has been granted by the company Twin Golf Course. This gift of living is indeed for the stricken family affected by the fires that has ravaged the neighborhood of Balbala. The representative of the company has qualified this for a social act patriotic, and he launched a call for everyone participate to our aid as the disaster victim of the fire of Balbala. The prisoner of the commune of Balbala, Waber Nuh Eliye, thanks the officer of the company donor and has launched an appeal to the authority and private sector to participate in support of the claim of the fire of Balbala. Was already present at the ceremony the vice president of the commune of Balbala, Mr. Adan Muhammad. In accordance with the Article 11 of the Law 59 of 20 July 2014, the organization and function of the National Commission of Human Rights, the commission led by the President Seleban Umar Udun, has done today, 1st of August 2017, in visit to the central prison of Gabod. The Commission has received a warm welcome from the Director of the Prison Administration, Lieutenant Colonel Mohamed Jama Yunis. The delegation led by the President of the National Commission of Human Rights have visited the various premises of the neighborhood of the prison of Gabod, has to know the neighborhood of the Muna and the destruction of women for the neighborhood of the Fonda, the neighborhood of the commandment prison, as all the nurse and the kitchen. The objective of their visit was to inquire of the condition of the detention and treatment of the prisoner. The delegation was composed, in addition of the President of the CNDH, the Commissioner Fathi Abdullahi, and the National Commission of Human Rights, Jibril Umar Hufani, as well as the framework of the CNDH has known Salah Du'ali Hafiz and Amin Muhammad. And then let us move on to international news. Paris will host almost certain of the summer of 2024. The community of Los Angeles, only opponent of the candidate of Paris, has indeed announced they have reached an agreement with the International Olympic Committee for the allocation of the 2020. The International Olympic Committee has confirmed on Monday, 31 July, the evening, that Los Angeles was proposed for the organization of the Summer Olympic Games of 2028, opening the factor of the track to holding of the 2024 in Paris. The French capital and the Californian city were indeed the only two cities still running for the organization, and the Olympic game is placed to publish this day the host city contract 2028, following the declaration of the candidacy of Los Angeles for the Olympic and Paralympic Games of 2028. Said in the press release, this contract provides the Olympic Games will bring a contribution to the committee of the organization of a total amount estimated at $1.8 billion. The DDS said, very confident, it is the possibility of reaching the next month to a tribe agreement with Los Angeles and Paris, which will then be submitted to the ratification of the Olympic Games members gathering in September in Lima, Peru. As for Paris, it will take here a contract 12 years after its dissemination of Singapore, where the member of the Olympic Game has preferred for a few voted for London for the organization of 2012. That is all for this evening news. Thank you for watching us and have a wonderful evening.